I don't think the suit has merit. I think it's political. They had no accountability, no transparency, none of that. And that arrangement was not good for the state of Florida. We did not think that that should continue. So we now have brought accountability. And so the idea that somehow being pro-business means giving companies their own governments, that is not what a free market is all about. The days of putting one company on a pedestal with no accountability are over.
Wow, overnight, just about actually 2 hours ago, Governor Ron DeSantis in Israel hitting back at Disney as the House of Mouse files a lawsuit accusing him of, quote, government retaliation after he revoked the special tax privileges it has enjoyed for more than 50 years. Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody joins us now. So this thing is getting deeper and deeper, Mr. Attorney General. Your reaction to this lawsuit?
Well, off the bat, I was puzzled that they would even name DeSantis as a defendant in this case. It was the Florida legislature and the Central Florida Oversight Board that took actions that effectively eliminated special privileges or a self-governing authority of Disney. And so, it puzzled me. And, you wonder if it was an attempt by Disney maybe to put pressure on this governor to shut him up, to make him stop talking about these privileges, or maybe stop talking about their change in approach to kids. But I can tell you, I have spent a lot of time with this governor. He is driven by principles and convictions, period. Not corporate pressure, not even a lawsuit against him. He won't back down. So I give these lawyers an A for effort. It was certainly creative legal drafting, but I don't see this changing anything in the way DeSantis approaches his state and making sure that he's treating everyone fairly.
Well, they say that this is a targeted campaign of government retaliation. And it started when they came weighing in and mislabeled a bill, the Don't Say Gay bill, which it wasn't. And they spoke out about it. And he said, really? Well, why are you enjoying this autonomous status? I think I'll take it away. But before they left, they had their board, before they dissolved themselves, reestablish this autonomous status. What is the legal move there to take that back away?
Well, really, where this really started is you had leaders in the Florida legislature that looked at whether these special districts should still be operating. Those that were set up before our Constitution addressed these special districts at a certain point in time. And I think really this lawsuit, they will assert, and certainly they have done in legal draftings, that this has something to do with their free speech. But really, they're upset that the legislature took a re-examination of these special districts and when they were created, and then took action that did away with self-governing status and special privileges. So, again, there could be many reasons this lawsuit was brought. The core probably is because they're trying to protect or go against the Florida legislature that made some decisions regarding these special districts.
Right. I guess we're going to find out. Do you guys have a legal move, or just to defend yourself? Is there something you're going to countersue?
Well, certainly the governor has been named as a defendant, as well as the Central Florida Oversight Board and another agency within our state. Again, I will tell you, I've been a judge, I've been a lawyer, I serve as the Attorney General now. I don't believe the governor should be named as a defendant in this suit. I think there were probably other reasons for that move by counsel, and certainly we will make sure that we put forth that argument. But you're not stopping the fight. You're still looking to do this, get away from Reedy Creek and just make them part of Orlando. Well, again, that decision and leadership decisions and how Florida law comes out will be up to our legislative leaders. They're the ones that took this action, and the Central Florida Oversight Board took actions as well. That will be up to them. The governor certainly is not going to back down from pointing things out. That's his job as governor, to talk about what is in the best interest of the state of Florida. I can tell you he does that every day and will continue to do that.
Attorney General Ashley Moody, thanks so much.
Of course. Great to be with you. All
right. This story's moving quick.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.